everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. We're doing the PDQ A this week. Normally we do it the week of Patch Tuesday, but we're changing it up because reasons.
Because
we just
stuff.
We switched some stuff.
You can go to the YouTube channel and see those reasons, but yes.
So I'm Jordan. That's Tara.
I'm Tara.
Andrew's on this TV that you can't see right now, and we have the president in the corner.
Right where the president should be.
And that's some questions. I'm looking forward to winning this month.
Okay, so who's in the running for points today? So you got Jordan, we have Tara, and we have Joshua, which is code for ChatGPT.
And the audience says Marcel. I like that.
Oh, that's right. The audience has to have some. All right. Oh, and Andrew. Can't forget Andrew. He's right there on the TV.
Already had.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Joshua. Oh, that's hilarious.
No, it's still Joshua.
No, Joshua. Look.
Yeah, that's good.
I know. I typed it.
Oh, you typed it.
Let's dive into some questions.
Let's do questions now.
It's like magic.
All right.
Got a lot to cover.
All right, here we go. In our environment, PowerShell execution policy is all signed. Allowed PowerShell scripts are signed with certificates issued by our own internal CA. Is there a way to sign PDQ inventory and PDQ deploy packages, PowerShell scripts, so that they run on our clients? Michael B.
Michael B. Jordan.
I don't think that's accurate.
Okay.
All right, so
Do you want me to take this?
Have at it.
You go ahead. I'll let you have this one.
So we do sign ours. You just have to include, I believe, our certificate in your trust certificate, and it should be fine. By default, we sign them. If you need to sign them separately, that you have to follow the same method to sign each package, I guess.
Yeah, I added a nice link to the chat that addresses the all signed PowerShell execution policy.
That was easy.
So.
Speed round has already begun.
I guess. I was like kicking back, waiting for this to go a while. All right.
You want to hear what ChatGPT says about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very wrong. Very wrong. So I don't know if I want to continue asking these questions because as part of it, it says, yes, you need to obtain a certificate, yada, yada, yada. In the package properties, go to the options tab and select sign with a code signing certificate under code signing options. So it's already started making up stuff inside of the products that don't actually exist.
So the short
I'm just gonna give it a 0 for the day.
Yeah,
I don't think it knows our product.
Yeah, we do sign. You just have to take the cert that we have, and I think the link Andrew put in there has how to do that. Accept that as a trusted cert, and then it should go through.
Yeah, PDQ deploy and PDQ inventory are both signed with it, so you can kind of get it from there. But yeah, just trust the cert that we use.
Trust the process.
And you can sign your own stuff if you wanted to too. So
sweet. All right.
Let's encrypt.
Next question. We have approximately 1,800 computers in our AD. I'd like a report of how many computers have multiple monitors, and with that, how many monitors are mismatched. When making a basic report, it pulls one monitor or the other if dual monitors, but won't pull detail about both monitors. Sincerely, Thomas the Tank Engine.
I want that too.
So my best bet, and I won't have specifics on it, is that information is probably stored in WMI, so you might have to do like a custom WMI query to build it from there. But I wouldn't even know where to start looking within WMI to find that information.
That's interesting, because that's something I would totally want, Jordan. Because I'm a weirdo like that.
I don't think you're a weirdo. Other people want it too. There is valuable information in there, and if a monitor is plugged in being used, it should show up in WMI somewhere. Off the top of my head, I could not give you specifics.
Interesting.
So there's a displays window of PDQ inventory. It's like a tab thingy on the computer object, which maybe they could query.
Let's look.
Display manufacturer.
I'm not sure if that gives the right amount of monitor.
No, I don't
think that one's been notoriously.
So the WMI is going to give you the most accurate information.
Yeah,
so definitely.
I would research that query and then just build a report around that query, and that should work out for it. The finer details are going to be difficult to find.
Marcel has the thing right there in the answer in the chat.
Select all from Win32 _ desktop monitor. Look at that. That's the WMI query.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's
Should we
the one.
Half points for audience, half points for Jordan, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole
can
points
give me
for
half-
audience.
Yeah, you can say you gave me
Yeah,
half point. Like
they gave the.
yeah, I gave
Right.
vague. Marcel gave the here's the one
He
you
gave
want.
exact.
All right. Next
All right.
Yeah,
question.
Marcel got that.
Next
On the
question.
subject of points, am I supposed to be keeping track of that?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't care.
All right.
Not like they mean anything.
Hey, points are redeemable for dollars later. This one might actually be for Jaron. Any updates on PDQ Connect? How is the beta going? How has the feedback been? Any word on upcoming additional features? Sincerely, Mikey B.
Okay, so we launched PDQ Connect this week. Pretty excited about that. It is still an early product launch, and so we did it pretty quietly, but all the people on Reddit, they found it within 24 hours, so hat tip to you guys. One call out, next week we are going to be focused on PDQ roadmap and Connect being the prime focus there. So we'll have more details. I would hate to say any upcoming features. I don't want to spoil it for them. And we're still continuing to gather feedback from the users. So far, we're excited about it. We have a 30-day trial to launch. And like candidly, we're getting more trials than we expected. Again, maybe thanks to this audience and Reddit. So excited about it. And please join our webcast next week.
And now go back to your corner.
Absolutely.
We also have a
Absolutely.
demo video coming out as well soon.
That's a lot of faith that I get to accomplish it.
You can do
Next
it.
We
question.
believe in you.
All right, our next question. Have you created an uninstall package for Pulse Secure and Deploy? I also would like to keep up with installs via inventory. Have not been able to come up with a clean uninstall package that shows in inventory that program is no longer installed on a computer. David.
So I've never dealt with Pulse Secure, so I couldn't, once again, this is a common theme for me, couldn't do specifics, but if you are doing a regular uninstall and it's still showing up in inventory, that means that it has some sort of registry key. There's something out there. So it's going to require a lot of research if their own uninstall is clear, where you have to find out the keys you need to remove and include the deletion of those. And then the next time it scans in, it should remove it. But that could be anywhere where they store that information. And it's a shame that a software out there in this day and age does that poor on an uninstall. Their uninstaller should wipe it.
Do you think they should email support on that one? What do you think?
Email support, they might be able to have a better answer.
Support at pdq.com?
Yeah, it's just one that I've never actually uninstalled. It's just, I hate uninstallers that leave remnants behind.
Yeah. Andrew, what about you? Is that something you've encountered?
It is. I don't have the exact registry path off the top of my head, but it sounds like whatever uninstallation process that they're using to uninstall that software is not removing those registry entries. We rely on the registry. So like Jordan said, you're going to have to add another step. Well, one, I'd verify that you're actually doing the proper uninstallation per the software's recommendations or whatever. And then,
I love Revo Uninstaller. I use it all the time, actually.
We need to give him credit. So Josh Bennett in the chat says Revo Uninstaller can be useful in finding the registry keys that aren't removed. So that's a useful tool.
Revo, I always use Revo for Adobe because Adobe is the worst for that.
Anyways, I'm not going to go on a rant on things that I hate because we don't have all day. Let's just go to the next question.
I think also just a quick call out in inventory. If it's showing as an installed application still, there should be a registry path that you can look to.
Okay.
All right, another question. We're going to have to bring Jaron back out of the corner. I apologize.
On
guys.
deck here.
All right. So is the beta ending? Am I going to lose access if I'm on the beta? Mike B.
Mike, this is a great question. So the beta is officially over. However, for you and for all of those who helped us in beta, we are super grateful for that. This is the feedback that helped us have the confidence that we're for our early stage launch. And so you're going to continue to stay in your same environment. We're going to give you an extended kind of trial or extended version through your beta. So right now, continue to use the product on us. And then in the next few months, we'll have someone reach out, discuss the needs of your company to see if it makes sense long-term, and even get you some special beta pricing for you for helping us. Again, big thanks to our beta users, like really awesome feedback. The channel we had internally was buzzing because of the great feedback suggestions and some of the QA work you did for us. Also, thank you, Marcel. I think you were pretty big on the QA. Appreciate it.
Might get you some swag too. I'm just making that up off the top of my head. But
It's now live.
That's live. That's
now,
forever.
now it's a thing. So now I got to do it.
Thing. I blame ChatGPT for that.
Sure.
Okay. Next question. Are we ready to rock?
Let's do it.
All right. We have several scheduled deployments, but have to go in and delete the target history, or they won't run when we update the package. What are we missing for the set it and forget it? Doug K.
So there's a few with this one. If it is packaged with our installer, then that shouldn't be happening either way. If it's a custom package you have built, we're trying to do that one. There's a couple of options. There's a webcast Lex and I did, I want to say a year ago, where we have every time there's an update within your own custom package that runs the command line and clears out the target history from the entire schedule, and that does it for you. The other option is there's a checkbox that says stop deployment once successful. And if you're manually updating the package, it's never, even if you update that package again, it's not going to go as long as they're showing up in the history at that point. So you can uncheck that box. That just opens up a few can of worms, but there's a few options to make it work for you.
And I think that approach works well if they have dynamic collections, right? So you can continuously attempt deployments on computers that are known to have an old application. And then once it gets updated, they'll be out of that collection, so it won't be targeting them anymore. Combined with what you said about the uncheck, stop deploying once successful. But shout out to Timothy McCabe, who shouted that out as soon as it was asked. So he gets partial credit for that one too.
You can't answer questions before we're even live and get credit.
Is that cheating?
No, we were live. It was just
Tim's
5
awesome.
minutes ago.
Tim's
There you
awesome.
go, Tim.
Yeah,
You're
Tim's
all
on
right.
it.
I give Tim no points.
No points for
I have
Tim?
no control over this, but no points.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
It goes to the general audience.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, this one might possibly be another one for Jaron, maybe. Okay, will
Would've been a lead.
PDQ Smart Deploy integrate with PDQ Deploy? Garrett H.
It is a great question for me if I can look into a crystal ball of the future. No, I'll kind of pull back on that. I think that's a great question next week when we have our product managers on. But I will give you maybe the Jaron's take real quick. I would anticipate, and I don't want to speak on behalf of any roadmap here, but I would anticipate that Smart Deploy would be easier or simpler to integrate with Connect in the future, because the way that Connect is built, API centric. So that doesn't mean that's the order that we'll choose to do, but that would be a more feasible lift, in my opinion.
Excellent. And by the way, I'm going to show you how much of a geek I am. Every time Jaron answers a question, all I can think in my head is, man, I love that microphone he's using. That sounds so good.
Nerd.
It's called an Electro Voice RE320 for those who are asking.
It's almost like Kelly himself picked it out.
It almost is. Yes.
Okay.
Is that heightened or lessened by my voice, though, Kelly? Does it actually sound better or worse?
You have a good on-mic voice.
You do. You have a very good
He
on-mic
does.
voice.
He sounds
And
like a
it-
radio guy.
I know. It enhances the bass.
They say that the president's always going to get honest feedback when he asks the group of people that he can fire.
No, but aside from the fact that performance reviews are this week, Jaron really does have a good
It's
speaking
sultry,
voice.
it's rich.
I mean,
Ruggedly
my gosh,
handsome.
he's attractive.
His
So,
voice. Just, wow.
1 point for
got to say
Tara,
something
1 point for Kelly, and negative point for Jordan. JJ, you can make sure to keep that score.
All right, I'll keep a separate tab. But when it comes to radio, yeah, you do have a radio voice. But Jaron, you did pick the right career for us.
All right. Next
Radio's
question.
not
Next question.
I actually didn't hear his last words, but I won't make him repeat it, whatever it was.
Little dig at Kelly.
Yeah, he said you made the right career choice by not going into radio, which I would
got
fully
it, got it.
support. Fully
Kelly,
support.
you also made the right career choice by leaving radio.
Getting out, yes. And our next question, is there an easy way to find out which packages have the Windows 10 OS version as a condition, since now we need to also select Windows 11? Ed L.
We were actually just talking about this, kind of, in Connect, but
Right. So
I wanna hear.
if we want to show the screen, so I'm wondering, like, there's a standard way where if you open up a package, just properties, conditions, you have the OS version there. But if you're looking for one where Windows 11 isn't checked or specific, I don't know if there's a report for that. That's probably going to require like a SQL query of just the packages I've downloaded where you can find out the OS version for that one. But other than that, it is stored right in the package. I don't know a way to pull for all packages though.
Can you do that one more time for me, Jordan? Because you went too fast because you're too much of a robot.
All right, when we go from
Yeah,
from
be a little
beginning,
slow for me.
we're
I'm
gonna open
slow.
up Chrome,
Yeah.
properties, conditions, OS version.
And then I would just uncheck Windows 11 if I don't want. Okay.
Yeah,
got
I
it.
feel more.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, he said
They
instead
might
of
want to also.
I'm sorry, he followed up in the chat with instead of looking at it individually. That is going to require a SQL query.
Okay.
And boy, you don't want me trying SQL live. I will break it all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I don't have a good answer to that off the top, but I know that our support team is super smart, and they may have seen this before and have a query that they've used before. Maybe not, but it might be worth a shot to reach out to support at pdq.com.
It's always worth it.
All right, we ready for another question? Let's do it. We have one computer that is reading the boot date is in November of this year, about 9 months in the future. Where does PDQ get this date, Dominic R?
I swear boot dates are always possessed.
Future, obviously.
Aren't they? They have been in my career.
Yeah, and that's an under the hood where
BIOS dates, boot dates.
I couldn't answer. It's the same thing with the we get this a lot with needs reboot flag, and that looks in like 4 locations, but it's an under the hood thing. I don't know how Andrew's Google skills are. If he's Googling frantically.
He's at home. He's like, oh my God, where is it? Ah!
Yeah.
Ooh, let's
I have
ask.
seen some issues with this one
You have?
before, but I think this is another one that's good to send in and just get support's eyes on it. Keep track of it.
In the chat,
Well, let's
Ed
see.
says fast boot is probably enabled on that PC, so it really is not doing a complete restart.
Fast boot's not
Not
enabled.
Why is it in the future, though?
Oh.
All right, so so if that one, that sounds like, I'm not sure where we pull it from for that information, but if it's not correct, that is absolutely a bug. So please submit that in so we can start getting eyes on it.
Okay. Next question.
Okay. Can SimpleMDM deploy computer certificate 802.1x wireless to Mac OS?
So, of course, I don't have it open right now to play around, but so here's I guess I have a question if Garrett's in the chat. Have you tried to do this in the GUI? Because if you have, then my answer is this: you're going to need to use a custom profile, and you would do it that way instead. So yes and yes. I wish I had it open right in front of me because I think there is a way to push it out with the wireless configuration. There's a profile, so you would just create a profile and then assign it to your group. But I did not log into my SimpleMDM before the show, stupidly, because I'm stupid like that.
No, it's fine. I actually got an additional response from
okay.
our SimpleMDM crew who's listening right now.
Oh, what'd they say?
They said, you're right. He says,
okay.
yep, we use
Yay!
SCEP with 2 config profiles, one for the root cert and one for the client cert. It's very easy.
JJ, give me a point. Yes.
Why hostile at me?
That wasn't hostile. That was cheering. That was a happy.
Tara's very competitive.
Point.
is
I
the
am very
thing.
competitive.
So,
That's true.
well done. Well done.
I don't know. Earlier you were giving questions away. Like, Jordan, answer that. Andrew, you have an answer for that? And then let it be.
Well, she was trying to give them a little bit of a head start. Then she's going to swoop in from
gotcha.
behind.
No, I
wipe
didn't
them
know
out.
the answer.
let's-
No, let's not lie.
Let's see it. Let's see this swooping.
It's coming. It's coming.
Before we go to the next question,
Yes.
Marcel did a follow-up for the previous question about the shutdown. He says, try shutdown -F-T0 or -R-T0-F to try to force a more, I guess, aggressive reboot. I'm not familiar enough with the command line.
Oh, to fix the boot time. Or okay.
To see if that fixes the boot time. And if it does work, I'd be curious, but...
Chase
Chase is breaking
almost
stuff.
killed himself, just in case you're wondering what just
Well, there
happened.
goes our
cameras
camera
are off.
one.
That was awesome. That was so awesome. I
live,
wish you
too.
guys had seen that. That was so
Chase, I
cute.
told you not to move it until after the show.
No, that was not even the camera that you told him to move.
No,
like almost.
Okay, so Garrett, if you're looking at
Poor guy.
options, SimpleMDM is exactly what it sounds like. It's simple. You should definitely check into it. I love it. And I didn't even use it in my real IT career. Yeah, I love it though.
So I didn't
do.
realize that Marcel's answer was that amazing, but it clearly is stunned.
It is?
Well,
Oh, because Chase just fell.
it shook the foundations of our camera.
Which Marcel's advice to you, Chase, right now: stop drinking.
No more alcohol for you. Yes, Garrett, do the trial. You won't regret it, I promise.
All right. Are we ready for yet another question?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Wait, who got that question?
I don't know who did.
What was the question?
I don't know. Okay, everyone. There you go.
My memory is 6
That ex-
seconds.
All right, you told me everything I need to know.
Marcel rebooted Chase.
And another question from Marcel. Connect. Custom variables. When?
Oh, so
I would love that.
well, I'm not going to tell you right now, but I do have something to tell you. It's
Are you giving me the hot goss?
yes,
Okay.
but it's sooner than you think.
So I don't know the timeline of all features, but I do know they are looking to add a lot of feature parity between deploy
Yes.
inventory and connect. It's just
Yes.
for now what's out there. It was
We're serious about that.
Yeah, it was viable product that meets a lot of the needs for people, but we're not done there. And I don't know a timeline, but I would be surprised if custom variables were one that were left out.
So-
One of them that you want is actually there now. I just need to tell you about it. So it's sooner than you think.
Okay.
So Mark Littlefield has responded to us here in the chat. He says, custom variables, this is on the short list. Right now we're focused on getting more package steps, more coming next week when we take over the webcast.
Take over? Who does he think he is?
Oh, no, this is a full-on webcast takeover. It's going to be sweet.
I like those ones. I just get to sit here and look pretty, which I'm great at.
Totally.
While other people do the
Let 'em.
talking.
Oh, and Mark just claimed a point there. So.
Okay, 1 point for Mark.
And now he's taking our
Mark,
points.
or do I give that one to the audience?
Oh, no, give that one to Mark. Mark needs a point.
Participating with the. All right.
He's just
Mark,
trying
here
to
you
stack up points for next week. He's going to come in with a lead, basically, is what he's doing. Okay, new question.
Beat Jordan.
Let's do it.
When is the planned retirement for unsupported OS properties values in PDQ inventory and deploy, like in the previous screens where you select the OS? Marcel.
So is my
I guess we
understanding...
did point that out earlier.
Go ahead.
In that drop down, there are some OSs that are, correct me if I'm wrong, they're even out of extended support, right?
Yeah, Vista 7. Oh, why is
Yeah,
8
Vista
should
7,
just
so-
die?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because I was going to say my understanding was when they fall out of complete support, because we have to support like I always forget the acronym, the LTC or whatever for the extended time. But if that's out and it's in there, I think that's definitely something we need to revisit because we are supposed to remove them as they fall out of Microsoft support.
We'll follow up on that later.
Yeah, hang on 1
Get a
second.
new version.
Just getting our next question up and running because it just came in. Okay, are we ready?
Let's do it.
I stumbled across... Oh, bless you. Bless you, Jake.
I couldn't hold that in.
That's okay. I stumbled across get process where object blah blah nerd and wanted to know more. So I used get process, get member, listing quite a bit of stuff, including the above machine name. When trying to pipe things other than the machine name to where object like CPU, get process, where object, blah blah blah, it seemed to be the same output as what get process returns. Is this normal behavior or is my syntax off? That's a deep question.
Yep. So I'm just reading through it again.
I think
here.
the syntax is off though, for what they're wanting to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, so
That's where my head
the
goes.
where object is more to filter out based on the results of it. So if you're looking for just specific information from get process, it'd do pipe it to select object. And then the properties you want to grab, you won't need the $_ for that one. If you're looking to eliminate based on the results of certain those, then it would be where object $.CPU like or equals, and you could specify that one. So if you're looking just to return only the objects that you want from get process, instead of where object, try select object and just select all the properties you're looking to collect.
You made a complex question sound simple.
Such is his talent.
That is very impressive. Okay, we have a few more questions in the queue. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to hit them in the chat. Is there a way to create a schedule to deploy whatever when it joins the domain / is found in PDQ inventory for the first time?
So like, if you want to, I'm thinking group policy world, but yeah,
So, and
you could deploy a group policy.
let me check.
Obviously.
I believe do we have a field for when something was added to inventory? I'm trying to remember if we did, because I could build it from that. But I don't want to go through all those. There's so many. Why do we collect all this information?
Look at all that. There's too much. So yeah, it detects a change, right? So
Yeah. It's 80 last login.
Not
Added,
disabled.
no, it's added from,
Yeah.
not when it was added. So I'm assuming.
Chase is back. Oh my gosh, brace yourself. Hold on.
My
Hold on.
goodness. So Martha, that
Okay,
was
we're
answered
okay.
in the. So I was
We're
looking
okay.
for it. So you could have.
Thanks, Chase.
It depends on the process. Without finding the field I was looking for, the best way I could think about it, if you have a new machine join the domain, if it starts off in a default OU of this is new machine,
Yeah.
you could have a collection based on that OU, and then part of your deployment could be to move it to the appropriate OU based on different parameters.
Yeah. Triggers the action.
Yeah, so that way you'd have a collection of all machines that were recently added to the domain, but that's to the domain, not to inventory itself.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, and I didn't find what I was looking for in there, the best way to find out when it was last added to inventory, because you could theoretically build a collection off of that.
That makes sense. I'm sure there's a bunch of
There's a
different ways
date
to do
added
it.
property, I think. Date added property might be pretty good to use there.
Yeah, James said he'd deploy to a new computer OU for all default software on an hourly basis. Ah, that's good. Wow, hourly. Geez, James is aggressive. I like that.
I've also seen people add this as like the final step of their imaging for new devices. So the final step will reach out and initiate that first deployment that includes whatever their standard software is, kind of thing.
So it uses the command line to deploy then? Okay.
Well, and look,
Yeah, I'll
James
put
is
a
syncing
link in the chat
to
for
AD.
it.
Yeah, so that's what you're talking about, Jordan. He's syncing to AD.
Oh, yeah.
Add to the main MP. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was missing. The field I was thinking of was not there, so that was a bus. That's why I switched to the other one. But it looks like there are quite a few days, and Marcel mentions there's probably a video on it. I'll see if we can find that and put it as a link.
Okay.
Craig does it every 10 minutes. These people are not messing around.
Well, if it's just scanning and kicking off a deployment, I mean, if you're doing a AD sync and inventory, it's not real resource intensive, so running it every 10 minutes isn't crazy.
Full contact IT.
Get her done.
All right, next question. When an app shows up in PDQ, in a PDQ inventory scan, but it doesn't appear in the apps list or control panel programs list, where should I look for it? Jimmy.
Most likely that's one of the AppX packages that's user-based, which, as to my knowledge, there's not a way to produce a list from that outside of PowerShell.
Those keep coming up.
But AppX is not my favorite thing, and it was, for a while there, you couldn't even do a remove for all users. It was a mess. They fixed that part of it. But so I would say if it's not showing up in there, if you ran against that machine the PowerShell get-appx package and then just select all of them, you could just select based on name. It would probably print off a list of a whole bunch of stuff, and I bet the software's in there. That's where we get.
We have a blog.
Yeah, we get Teams popping up in there a lot.
I knew you were going to
webcasts,
say that. How did
some
I
videos
know?
about it.
Because
I knew.
that's another thing that I can't go into because language.
Okay. I think we have a final question. And this one looks, I think we've had this someone has posed this one before, but let's go for it. We are switching to LAPS, but some machines don't have LAPS passwords yet. Is it possible to try LAPS first, then a second account if LAPS does not exist for scanning and deploy?
That is default behavior. So if you have LAPS enabled, it will try LAPS first, and if not, it will fall back on other credentials.
Yeah.
So the answer to that is it should be yes. Try LAPS. If it's not working, it should fall back for you and still function.
Yeah.
But LAPS is absolutely the way to go if you can.
All right, that's it. Camera 2.
All right. I mean, thanks everyone for tuning in for me destroying and dominating this month's PDQ A. It feels good to be a champion.
Good.
Looks like the vote was for the worst use case of ChatGPT. It was the eulogy has taken the victory there, so I'm going to post a ChatGPT eulogy.
That's the worst.
That's pretty terrible. You guys want to hear the scores?
Yeah, let's have the scores.
All right. Should we start with bottom to top, or just go in random order?
Yeah, let's go bottom.
I've already claimed victory.
He's
I don't want
claimed
to
it.
ruin this with
Yeah.
scores.
I know. We've got ChatGPT. I've given it -1 point.
Nice.
Mark with 1, Tara with 2, Andrew with 3. I'm sorry, audience had 2. Good job, audience. Jared with 3, and Jordan with a resounding 7.
Jordan.
Whoa!
Never had a doubt.
That is
Never
like
had
Listen,
it.
this
You just
excellence and
sweep the
brilliance
floor.
is a burden, but I take that mantle seriously. You know, it's the best part though is all of these victories don't go to my head. I have no ego about how awesome I am.
That's true.
well done. Well done.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in, and now for real, for watching me dominate. The scores have confirmed. For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
Thanks for joining our webcast today and for submitting your questions. If we did not get to your question today, feel free to reach out to our support forums. Please like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have comments, after this webcast, throw them down there in the YouTube comments. We'd love to hear from you. And we'll see you back here again next week.